Tyrannosaurus is arguably the most popular dinosaur ever. You cannot avoid it in dinosaur media. In one way or another, this dinosaur always finds itself featured, mentioned,
That's a Tyrannosaurus.
I don't think so. It sounds bigger.
or referenced. Additionally, our knowledge of the Tyrannosaurus is more advanced than that of most other dinosaurs. What if I told you though, that despite this dinosaur's widespread popularity, there are still many hidden facts about this fascinating creature you may not know about? So stick around for the 10 things you may not know about the Tyrannosaurus, and maybe your image of this dinosaur will change. Number 1. They didn't roar. When you look at the Tyrannosaurus, you see this massive, gigantic beast. Subconsciously, one would think that this mighty creature possessed a just as mighty roar to show off its majesty. And when most dinosaur media shows the T.Rex roaring proudly, time and time again, and when we look at present-day predators such as the lion, anyone would be forgiven for thinking the T.Rex roared. What if I told you, however, that it most probably didn't? The explanation is simple. Unlike in mammals such as lions or tigers, dinosaurs such as the Tyrannosaurus lacked the specialized vocal cords to make loud roars. Instead, the Tyrannosaurus very likely made low-frequency, low-pitched, rumbling bellows, similar to crocodilians. What's interesting is that you most likely felt its bellows as much as you heard them. Yes, it is believed that its rumbles were powerful enough to create vibrations in the air and on the ground for long distances. Number 2. Their eyesight was incredibly good. If you watched Jurassic Park or any of its sequels, you may have seen that Rexy and other Tyrannosaurs were unable to see someone or something if it didn't move.
Nobody move a muscle.
This is not accurate, but it is clarified in the movie that the dinosaurs were mutated with the DNA of different modern-day animals, such as the West African reed frog, which is where the Tyrannosaurus likely got the vision trait from. In reality, however, we believe that the Tyrannosaurus had a much greater eyesight than us humans, and possibly comparable, if not greater, than that of eagles. The Tyrannosaurus' eyes were differently positioned compared to other carnivores, namely at the front of the head instead of at the sides. This allowed for binocular vision. Paired with its towering size, this likely allowed the T.Rex to see long distances ahead of it. This was very useful for seeing potential prey, carcasses, or threats far ahead. Number 3. Their sense of smell was also extremely good. Recent studies have shown that the Tyrannosaurus' sense of smell was surprisingly advanced. It was discovered that the olfactory brain area, which processes smell, comprised an unusually large amount of the Tyrannosaurus brain. Additionally, a study from 2019 showed that the dinosaur had a total of between 620 and 645 olfactory receptor genes, a similar amount to modern-day cats. Being a predator, this extraordinary sense of smell was helpful in detecting carcasses and tracking prey and blood from long distances. Number 4. They were more intelligent than you think. For the longest time, the general thought was that dinosaurs were dumb, primitive lizards. In the 21st century, studies have shown time and time again that this is anything but true. Fairly recent estimates have compared the Tyrannosaurus' level of intelligence to that of modern-day primates such as the baboon. However, in 2024, new studies came out which disagreed with this claim. Now, we generally compare its level of intelligence to that of modern-day reptiles such as crocodilians and modern-day birds, which, in fairness, are pretty intelligent in the animal kingdom. All in all, we still believe the Tyrannosaurus was quite intelligent for a dinosaur. However, by far, humans still remain the most intelligent species of all, though that's not always apparent. Number 5. Their arms may have been useful. A reoccurring joke about the Tyrannosaurus is how short its arms are. And yes, relative to its massive body, its arms are short. What if I told you though that the arms of a Tyrannosaurus were actually perfectly built for its body? If the arms were even smaller, they would be useless. Just ask the Carnotaurus. And if the arms were larger, the T.Rex wouldn't be able to balance its massive body weight, as it would constantly fall over. The arms of a Tyrannosaurus were capable and muscular, and could lift up to around 200 kilograms. Additionally, the Tyrannosaurus arms potentially had many purposes, including assisting to get up from the ground, ripping onto prey, and okay, let's move on. Number 6. They often replaced their teeth. The teeth of a Tyrannosaurus were huge and really well engineered to serve their purpose, namely crushing bone and ripping flesh. As powerful and durable as their teeth were, they were constantly put under immense stress by the T-Rex's puncture and pull strategy, inevitably leading to them being regularly worn down or broken off. The solution was constant shedding and replacement of teeth, something that is not unique to the Tyrannosaurs, but is also seen in modern-day reptiles such as crocodiles and geckos, along with, most famously, sharks. Bonus fact: animals who replace their teeth are called polyphyodonts. This fact will definitely help you in your life someday. Number 7. They could be more stealthy than you think. With an estimated mass of up to 9 tons, it is easy to assume that its steps would shake the ground and that you would hear and feel it from far away. What if I told you this creature, which is always shown being loud and brutish, may have actually been stealthier than many think? While the T-Rex was no silent ninja, its padded feet reduced the noise of its footsteps, allowing the large animal to ambush its prey when needed. Don't forget that carnivores always try to minimize their own visibility, as well as their risk of injury when hunting prey by ambushing them when possible. Number 8. They may have been more social than you think. Usually, we don't imagine the T-Rex as a dinosaur that hunted in groups. We tend to think of and depict the Tyrannosaurus as more of a solitary animal. Surely this makes sense, right? As it was a large apex predator with no natural competition and could theoretically take down any prey on its own, it is easy to assume that the dinosaur just didn't need a group. Recent evidence, however, suggests that the dinosaur may not have been completely solitary as we had previously thought. Tyrannosaurs were most likely not pack hunters or anything, but based on various fossil records which have shown different tyrannosaurs living and interacting together, as well as Tyrannosaurus bite marks in other Tyrannosaurus bones, we can speculate that Tyrannosaurus may have occasionally interacted with each other. Number 9. They were neither purely a hunter nor purely a scavenger. While paleontologists such as Jack Horner have pushed the theory that the Tyrannosaurus was a scavenger and have all in all undermined its role in the food chain, many T-Rex fans can't imagine their favorite carnivore being anything else than a badass hunter that only lived to kill. Based on fossil evidence as well as our knowledge on the behavior of carnivores, more importantly apexes, we can safely assume the Tyrannosaurus was both a hunter and a scavenger when it needed to be either. Fossils of healed Tyrannosaurus bite marks on the bones of dinosaurs such as Triceratops or Edmontosaurus help prove that the carnivore actively hunted. Also, you don't have a large apex predator built to fight and kill large animals, and have it just be a scavenger. On the other hand, the T-Rex's advanced sense of smell was, as previously mentioned, most likely used for, among other things, finding carcasses from far away. Like any carnivore, the Tyrannosaurus would take the chance to eat a free meal without spending energy or risking getting injured, especially when there was no one to compete with the T-Rex, other than another T-Rex. Or maybe a Quetzalcoatlus. All in all, like every carnivore we know of, the Tyrannosaurus was most probably both an active hunter and a scavenger for the aforementioned reasons. Number 10. There were possibly more species of Tyrannosaurus than just the Tyrannosaurus rex. Just to clear up some confusion, Tyrannosaurus is the genus and Tyrannosaurus rex is the species of the genus. It was long thought that the Tyrannosaurus rex was the only species of Tyrannosaurus. In 2022, however, a controversial study came out dividing the Tyrannosaurus into 3 separate species, those being the rex, imperator, and regina, due to variations in femur robustness as well as the amount of front teeth. Many scientists have disagreed with the study, calling the evidence insufficient and claiming that the variations are too minor to justify splitting Tyrannosaurus into separate species, instead seeing these differences as individual and within one species, with differences in age and sex also playing a role. In early 2024, the species Tyrannosaurus macraensis was described from some remains which had been found in 1983. The validity of the species, however, is also questioned. Even as the most popular dinosaur ever, there are still many things that not too many people know about it, and as a result, the Tyrannosaurus is often somewhat misunderstood. We like to think of it as simply a huge, loud, and brute monster, But through these 10 facts, I hope you realize just how unique the T-Rex really was, and that this dinosaur really has a lot to talk about when it comes to senses, intelligence, or generally its biological structure. Also, even to this very day, we are still learning more about this dinosaur, disproving old theories while making new ones, with more and more evidence to back them up. So, who knows? Someday, everything I talked about here will be either common knowledge or disproven, while there will be dozens more relatively obscure facts and theories to talk about.